Allow me to join our chairman in extending condolences to all our supporters and citizens who mourn the loss of a loved one. I remember in my prayer, Lena Pemberton from this community, whose son she lost so tragically one early morning at the incident in Keyon. I know how difficult it is to lose a loved one, and how much more difficult it is for a mother to have to bury a child killed in such tragic way. I want equally to remember Talbot, whose brother I'm advised was also lost to eternity, and to pray for him and his family, that the souls of all those dearly departed will find eternal peace. On a more happier note, or a more happy note, I should say, I want to thank all those who tonight did such a wonderful job in making presentations tonight, and in particular to thank those from number 7 who did such a good job in representing me. Each of them, all of them, did me proud. Janice and all the other people, my good friend Shanice did an excellent job. Dr. Dale Crawford did an excellent job. Patrice Liebert did a very good job. Everyone spoke well. And I want to big up Rollies, for as it were, bringing the icing on the cake. We are a team. We are a people united for the forward march. Yes, St. Kitts and Nevis is about to embark on an incredible journey with the People's Labour Party, the fastest and the youngest political party making waves. Look at the thousands of people who are here tonight. Yes, we are the only party who can say that we will truly protect the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We are the only party speaking to the people's issues, creating jobs and growing the economy. You listen to the other teams, you hear tales of bitterness and confusion. I say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, the People's Labour Party invites all to join us in the task of building a better St. Kitts and Nevis. It doesn't matter that in the past you would have voted PAM. The PAM leadership abandoned you years ago when they walked away from unity. They abandoned you when they refused to come to the cabinet to work on behalf of the people. They left you behind when Sean went around cutting off people's life, no matter their circumstances, and he did it without remorse, no compassion for the ordinary people of St. Kitts and Nevis. They abandoned you. It is right for you now to vote for the best Prime Minister for St. Kitts and Nevis.
Forcing points of inclusion, indicating that whether you voted for PAM, Labour, CCM, whoever you voted for, last election, you are welcome to the PLP group of caretakers, and he is encouraging all with open arms to come and be a part of the PLP, an all-inclusive political party. He was speaking to PAM, Labour, CCM voters especially, that regardless of your party affiliation, you are welcome to the People's Labour Party. He indicated that the crowd was very large. Obvious something is happening amongst the PLP authorities and all relevant stakeholders. The crowd was estimated to be in the thousands. And I think that was a good show of momentum. It shows that the PLP is not only moving forward, but doing so with an upward mobility. PM Harris reinforcing his points that PAM and Labour have left their traditional supporters. No, none of the supporters would have left those parties. If you're standing still and your company would have moved on, of course you will be left alone, and thus you will have to find yourself in a new home. And they did just that by being part or becoming a part of the People's Labour Party. PM reinforcing his points that PAM and Labour have left their traditional supporters. We have to emphasize that. The leadership of the parties walked away. It was not the supporters who left the party. So let us not have a nebulous situation within our minds. Let us put that gray area into distinct shades of black and white. It was the leaders who left their traditional supporters. Let us see what else the PM has to say, please.
It is right for you to vote for every candidate of the People's Labour Party who are committed to bring together the best policies and programs that will take our country forward and upward. Yes, they have left you behind. You now have to protect your jobs from victimization. You now have to protect the peace and let the PLP reform it. You now have to protect the STEP program. And only the People's Labour Party is committed to do those things for you. Yes, we are the people's champion. We will continue to work proudly for you. Because for us, the honor of representation, the honor of being your parliamentary representative, the privilege of serving as a minister is one that we shall never take lightly. We will never be found wanted. We will never be lazy on the job. We will never be disruptive of the work of the government. And that is why I said to you, give me all 8 seats. I need all 8 seats to ensure a strong government. I need all 8 seats so that we don't go into another coalition with all of its uncertainty and force us back again into a premature elections. Vote for the PLP in number 1. Give Jacqueline Bryan the work. Vote for the PLP in number 2. Give Nubian Grill the work.
Give me the work, where the work there. Give me the work, give me the work.
In number 3, return Akila Byron Nisbet to deliver for you.
Give me
In number 4, give us Kendall Livard to restore the quiet. Give him the work.
Give me the work, with the work, give me the work, with the work.
And in number 5, Sean Gone, give the work.
Give me the
For
work,
young
with the work.
entrepreneur.
Give me the work, with the work. Give me the work, with the work. Give me the work, give me the work, give me the work.
And in number 6, the man who will give Dougie Licks work, vote for Dr. Mark Williams.
Give me the work, with the work. Give me the work, with the work. Give me the work, with the work. Give me the work.
And of course, in number 7, in number 7, in number 7, but before 7, I want to go to number 8 and to ask for your support for Talbaba.
Give me the work, with the work. 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 Give me the work, with the work.
Talbo come for the work. And to the people of number 7, I want back my job. I have more work
I
to
come for
do.
this work. Sign me up, I come for this work. Sign me up, I come for this work. Sign me up, I come for it.
From the bottom of my heart, I will always owe a debt of gratitude to the people of Bellevue, the people of Tabernacle, the people of Mansion, the people of Bicester, the people of Phillips Village, the people of Molineux, the people of Barrio, the people of Lodge Village, the people of Lodge Project, the people of Atlas. For the last 29 years or so, you, the good people of number 7, have never let me down. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You saw the energy from Shanice. You could feel it. Look, all my fans are here. The champions. So thank you. I want you to know that I appreciate your understanding. That as much as I would have liked to be everywhere conversing with you, as the leader of the party, I have to go everywhere to ensure that we bring in all 8 seats. So as we go through the next several weeks, I ask for your understanding. Don't bother with them about abandoning you. I could never abandon the people of number 7 because you live in my heart. You live in my heart. I am what I am today, thanks to God and thanks to the people of number 7 and the country at large. So yes, I say to you that we are ready to move forward. There is no need for any confusion in St. Kitts and Nevis. No need for no mystery. You can count on the Harris-led government to do the right thing for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis every time. That's the difference. We want to ensure that in our next term, we truly represent everybody. Yes, we will be a broad-based, inclusive government in which traditional PAM supporters will find their place and find a welcoming home. We will be a broad, inclusive government in which Douglas Labour people can truly come and work and find love and support as they help us build the government. And of course, we will never forget those of you who started with us, who traveled with us, who came to every meeting and gave us support. You too shall find a place of favor and support from the new People's Labour Party government. So I say thanks to the PAM supporters, former PAM supporters, who said they're done with that. They come to this with the People's Labour Party. I see Mr. Politics in the house. I thank you, Mr. Politics. You are a firm believer in unity. And your party leadership abandoned you. Break up a government of which they were part. Break up the best performing government in the Caribbean because they got too power hungry, can't wait for time. And they are not ready for prime time. So I thank you, Mr. Politics. I thank Mr. Osborne, Ambassador Osborne. He voted in 2020 for Keela Byron Nisbet. He told us on Friday night that 2022 he voting for the South again. Thank you. Thank you, Willie Mercer. Thank you to all the people in St. Kitts and Nevis for recognizing that only the People's Labour Party can take us forward into a better and stronger and more secure future.
Number one.
Very much. We will not take your support for granted. I want to say thank you, muchísimas gracias a los hispanicos, los amigos latinos. Vamos a luchar por tejer toda la gente que viene en San Cristóbal de Nieves. Un gobierno para todo. The Haitians, merci beaucoup. Thank you for your work here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We want for you to have a secure future. A secure future in which our children are safe and well taken care of. A secure future in which our streets remain safe. In fact, my vision is that of a St. Kitts and Nevis, which is the safest place for all of us to live. And we are not far from that. With your help, with your discipline, we can achieve against incredible odds. We can make our lives a success. We can pass to the next generation a better standard of living than we had bequeathed to us from our parents. We heard that message tonight when Shani spoke. Shani's message resonated with me. It resonated with Baby Dre. It resonated with so many of us who were born poor. We slept on the floor. We grew up and we had to wake up one another. We had to take the lodgings out to have the sun and the air. But thanks be to the grace of God, we stand today as serious citizens, able citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. The poverty of our circumstances must never be a curse. We can rise to higher heights if we will our mind to. And that is what each of us must do for our children. We can rise to higher heights. And your government will be there helping you every step of the way with our policies and our programs to ensure our young people will have a more secure future than the one we had. That is why last Friday I announced that one of the things for our next term will be that we will set aside a fund which in the end will comprise millions of dollars. Of that fund, we will record the names of every young person born and put aside a certain sum to ensure that that fund is yielding interest enough to ensure that when your son or daughter becomes of age to go to university, the cost of university education will be covered. Education is the way for upward mobility. Education will lead for enlightenment. Education will help with our peace and security and prosperity. For you want a future for your young child, vote for the People's Labour Party. Give them the opportunity that you didn't have. We will not allow your inability to go to the bank prevent your son or daughter from moving forward. Because we want a better society for all.
Juncture, we heard the Prime Minister showing how compassionate he is and how empathetic he is, because you heard him made mention of Talbot's Bass brother. We also heard him made mention of Lena's son. And I think that is when you keep up with the people in your constituency. You heard him talk about Baby J, you heard him talk about Willie Musser. Those are persons in Tabernacle that everybody who would have passed through Tabernacle would have known easily. And then he went and he showed a good breath of gratitude for the persons from Bellevue to Tabernacle, to Mansion, to Christchurch, to Phillips's, to Upper Boria, Lower Boria, I think I called Christchurch already, and then he went over to Molyneux, and then he went over to Lodge Village, Lodge Project, and then eventually to Otley's. That is when you know your constituency and you remember your people. They're always foremost in your mind. I've never come across a politician who knows even the nicknames of maybe 90% of persons in his constituency. And that plan he has to put something for the children, you know, the young children, so you could get a fund together to gather interest. We all know that it is not the most intelligent persons who get a chance to study. It's those who ride the wave of luck and chance and had people to support them. You know, too many times you had persons who had the ability, the capacity, but never did get a chance to go overseas to study, all because they did not have that financial support. And by putting that system in place, he must be commended highly. because by then it would have gathered sufficient momentum in terms of interest and everything. And the problem is, though, is that we have to ensure continuity. Regardless of who is where, we have to maintain the continuity of that fund and do not put it to use that it was not meant for. Brilliant idea. You know, in politics you have thinkers and you have doers. Some people do because they can't think. Some people think and cannot do. You have some people in the Venn diagram and neither doers nor thinkers. But we are blessed as a federation to have the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris as a hybrid of both being a thinker and a doer. I think we are blessed and we should thank the Almighty Lord on a daily basis to have blessed us with such a valuable asset. You heard the PM reinforcing hope that there are better days ahead for the nation. He is defining what exactly a more secure future is and what the key elements of that are. He's talking about what a secure future means. So let's see what the elements of this are.
Yes, I want to say that the People's Labour Party, these are our sons and daughters that can help you out there make a success of your life by their example. So I'm very proud of them. I am very proud.
Set of stimuli for the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis. Say he would pay increase for people in security. And that is a good gesture because they work very hard. Big announcement on corporate tax to be most competitive in the Caribbean region. That is important because, you know, but our brothers and sisters throughout the Caribbean region, we all compete for the transnational corporations to be a part of our society, our economic environment, and as such, we have to be competitive. And one way of doing it is to provide some easement on the corporate taxation. Big announcement too on duty-free and back-to-school expenses. That is really, really needed. Those shoes for those children could reach up to $700 a pair. When you finish buying shoes, that time you cannot buy any books. And we have to understand something. When you finish buying books, you cannot buy the shoes. So we need some degree of control. And since we cannot tell people how to do the prices, the best we can do is to offer concession. Those textbooks can be expensive. The SELF program, at least, is helping to a certain extent. But what about the limitation? What about the uniform, the shoes, the books, everything? And, of course, the shoes are very, very expensive. I believe that persons who are bringing in shoes to sell to school children, special concession must be given. No school shoe should cost more than $250. So these $300, $400, $500, $600, and $700 pair of shoes. And it's no use of telling the children they can't afford to buy them. Go school in what you have. You could try that. But you have persons who would leave home to go to school and would not go because of the type of shoes they have on. And only when you get the report, you see that they were absent for a very long period of time. So that concession and back-to-school expenses, that would go a very, very long way. The Prime Minister very much a demonstration that they understand cost of living pressures, are taking measures to stop it. They're doing whatever they have to do to mitigate against the exponential rise in cost of living. And most businesses today would have to give the cost of living index, you know, give a raise in salary based on the cost of living. And we have not done that in quite a while, and the private sector seems as if that is not part of their plan. But they too would have to join government and do increases to wages and salaries based on the cost of living index. A real pitch for jobs and growing the economy. We would like to really increase the number of jobs and get the economy going. You heard that pitch from the Prime Minister, and that is something that is conducive for the comfort, relaxation, and rhythm to be had by our people in our federation. You have to help them develop a rhythm. You ever be walking and then just stomp your toe or just put up on something and you're almost falling on your face? We need rhythm, just like how we need rhythm physically, we need rhythm economically. Then reminded people of the importance of the PAP. This is another vote determiner in the next election. The PAP is important. Many persons living from hand to mouth don't even have a penny saved. No, because the PAP was not expected and you're from hand to mouth. Continue to be from hand to mouth with what you have, but then take the PAP that you get and put it aside as cushion. There were those who opposed the PAP because they say it make our country look rather small, it belittle the people in our country. When they looked at the numbers, I could remember a particular former politician who took the Prime Minister to task for having so many persons on the PAP program. Their pocket full, their saucer full and running over, the teacup full and running over. And in a saucer they have on it is a bar pan. You understand? Unlike poor people who might get a little saucer because they catch themselves. Those rich people who have a bar pan under their teacup, they are crying foul with the number of persons in the PAP program. So you could imagine what would happen. And they are influencing some of our leaders who might have intentions of either finishing with the PAP, cutting it considerably, and then putting people back to suffer. Then you'll have to increase your beds or your rooms at the psychiatric ward, because that would be psychiatrically impacting on persons who would have fallen from economic comfort to an area of discomfort once again, with no hope of knowing where the void would be filled. You reminded people, the pension, excellent intention by the Prime Minister for September. Pension to non-establishment workers is a very significant policy, because you had some persons who went home and according to the rules, the policies, the laws, they did not qualify to get a pension, and it is unfair. How could you in government who qualify for a pension after working 25 years would be home with a comfortable and regular generation of income, whereas I put in the same 25 years, and because I was a non-established worker, I have to come out of retirement to go and work in order to ease the discomfort of my home and bring some easement with respect to financial stability and care for the people in my home environment. We have to be very mindful of that. And I think it's a very good gesture to take it back as far as 2012, because this was promised since 2007, 15 years ago. And nothing, absolutely nothing was done. And I think that the Prime Minister must be commended. I said that already, in a government you have thinkers and you have doers. People who are taking advantage of non-establishment workers. Nothing for them. Most will give them a basket of fruits, and they have to try to eat them within 2 days, unless half of it will be of no use to them. So we have to commend the Prime Minister highly for that. What it would mean for the lives of people. I'm sure what a strong economy can deliver, that is salary increases. We experienced a salary increase of 10% the other day, and it was done retroactively. And that, again, was an excellent gesture on behalf of the Prime Minister, because at that time a lot of persons were just feeling the economic pressure. Some person was saying that the country can't afford it. Some of them said they will give 15, but they're not thinking, they're not doing the maths, they're not doing the calculus. You got to do your derivatives and your integration and make sure that whatever you say can be sustained based on the number of persons you'll be giving these to. So people are just shouting 15, 20, 25% for the sake of conveniently putting information out in the public domain. But then ideally, maybe, but realistically, those things cannot work. Let us hear what the Prime Minister has to say once.
Service.
Yeah. Hey. Give me the work, with the work, yeah. Give me the work, with the work, yeah. Give me the work, with the work, yeah. Lord, I come for this work. Sign me up, I come for this work. Sign me up, I come for this work. Sign me up, I come for.
Yes. This shows you the high respect that your party leadership has for all women in our country. 2 of our best women have come forward to service. There are some who have no respect for the women folks. They want to rat up our women in uniform, and the people from number 4 must say no to that. Restore dignity and pride in representation. Yes, we will be the champion of all the people, the champion of the young, the champion of our sportsmen and women, the champion of our creatives, the champion of the small business people, the champion of the young men who just want a fresh start. Your People's Labour Party government.
Champion.
Yes, we will be a party for all. We will be a party that protects the people, that creates jobs, that sets our economy on a growth path, building out tourism, bringing new hotels to St. Kitts and Nevis, jump-starting and expanding our movie industry thanks to the hard work of Akila Byron Nesbitt, creating new jobs for our people. We will be there for our fishermen and our farmers, and we will develop policies that put them at the forefront of food security. Yes, we will be a government for all. As good as things are, if we are not mindful, if we were to choose lazy leadership, if we were to choose self-interested leadership, St. Kitts will fall victim and our people will suffer. Yes, this is not the time to go backwards. Not back to Dr. Douglas and his high taxes and the IMF debt, the 85% increase in electricity bill, the 500% increase in water, high crime. And when you speak to him, he will tell you that is like water coming off the back of a duck. 7 years in opposition, he coming around begging everybody, quack, quack, quack. He a real duck now. Quack, quack, quack. Anything he will say to gain power now that he has lost it. Yes, the election is about the future, taking us forward. Ensure that you are protected from all harm, physical and danger. Ah, you're bright, Miss O'Flaherty. She's bright. From all harm and danger, from gun crimes, which now are at an all-time low, from hurricanes that endanger you, could destroy your dwelling. And in the history of this country, Harris has been the best at supporting the people after a hurricane. Over 3,000 families at the home.
Top dog, not the place, top dog, not the top dog, not the place, top dog, not the top dog, not the place, top dog, not the.
That is part of the protection we have afforded you. Imagine with me a future where people can get the protection they need. the jobs they want, the opportunities they want, and the kind of life that they crave for. This is what as the Governor General may appoint. 10th of May, I told the Governor General dissolve the Parliament. When 90 days not come yet, what make them a behave so? What make them a march about so? These people are ready for prime time. The bell will only be rung when I am ready. I know, in the name of democracy, in the name of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, declare the date, the big date, for the re-election of the People's Labour Party.
Recapitulate what the Prime Minister said overall and the key takeaways. The threat of a global economic recession is very much defining this campaign. All political leaders have said this is the most important election in a generation. The Prime Minister has made a very strong case that only the People's Labour Party have the people, the policies, and the plan to steer St. Kitts and Nevis through these times. He also indicated that only the Prime Minister has the experience to deliver a secure future. He has outlined very clearly how the People's Labour Party will protect people, create jobs, and grow the economy. He reinforced the choice voters face between experienced and inexperienced leadership. He also indicated that very much thrown the gauntlet down to the other parties to see what they can deliver. Judging by their response to date, it appears the other parties are somewhat stuck and unsure how to respond. And that was my explication and elucidation of the Prime Minister's speech in constituency number 7 when he rang the bell, indicating that election day would be August 5th and nomination day would be the 26th of July.
We've come a long way. Our streets are safer, our economy is stronger, and our people protected. St. Kitts and Nevis can have a secure future, but we cannot take this future for granted. International storm clouds are gathering. Predictions of a global economic recession would hit us hard. This would cause less jobs, less opportunities, and increased pressures on cost of living. In these uncertain times, we need experienced leadership to secure our future. Leadership that will protect our people by keeping and improving pap and step. Leadership that will build on the peace, enhance and improve it so it never falls apart. Leadership that will create more jobs and more opportunities for our young people. Timothy Harris and his PLP team have a strong record of protecting the economy and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. They have a strong plan to grow the economy, improve the peace so our streets stay safe, deal with cost of living pressures, and create more jobs. Timothy Harris leads a PLP team of genuine community members who know the importance of delivering locally and being accountable to their community. Now is not the time for inexperienced or lazy leadership. There is too much at stake. At this election, you will decide who will manage our economy and protect the people. Only a vote for your PLP candidate will deliver a secure future with a growing economy, protection for the people, and more jobs. A vote for any other candidate will put our economy, jobs, and community safety at risk. So let's keep growing the economy. Let's keep protecting the people. Let's keep creating jobs. Vote PLP, and let's keep delivering a secure future.